Hi, everybody. Welcome. We are one pitch into this one. It is Havana taking on Wiregrass Cards. Tucker Rudd leading things off and wraps it to second. Kason Eubanks, who had a dandy day yesterday for the Wiregrass Cardinals at second, commits the error. And the first base runner will get on compliments of the mistake. So one aboard as Tucker Rudd is at first. Game getting underway about 6 minutes late. Line right up the middle. And there is your double play. Timothy Brown put it right back up the middle. Fielded by James Trammell. And he's a little tall with a throw over to first, but Landon Johnson able to literally lay the mitt on the bag for the out. And there's two quick outs with nobody aboard after the leadoff error that got Rudd on. Tucker Rudd batting first, Timothy Brown in the 2 spot for Havana. Seth Jones is the 3-hitter, Colton Harrell batting fourth. Jackson Machado is the 5-hitter. C.J. Albritton in the 6 spot. Emery Laird is the 7-hitter. Harrison Sandberg batting in that 8 spot, and Caden Brock is the 9-hitter for Havana. All facing James Trammell on the hill as it is fouled off to the right side. Behind the plate, Grant Youngblood, the first baseman for Wiregrass Cards. Landon Johnson. Kason Eubanks at second. The shortstop is Aiden Amos. And at third, Austin McCardle. Pitches outside. Slade Seaborn in left. Center fielder is Nate Applin, and the right fielder, Bryce Cunningham. And there you have it. Count even at 2 on Seth Jones. Pitch coming in a little low, and the count runs full. 3 balls, couple of strikes. Trammell trying to get out of the inning, facing the minimum. Got the inside part of the plate. Struck out Seth Jones.
Pitch count 8.
And it turns into a 3-up, 3-down, top part of the first. We go to the bottom of the inning. Nate Applin starts things off for the Cards when we come back.
Leading off, the center fielder, number 3, Nate Applin.
We head to the bottom of the first. Nate Applin starting things off for Wiregrass. Tucker Rudd got on Compliments of a mistake by Eubanks at second, but Timothy Brown wrapping into the double play, and then Jones strikes out. Turns into a 1-2-3 top part of the inning. Nate Applin starting things for Wiregrass. Aiden Amos bats in the 2 spot. Landon Johnson is the 3-hitter. Austin McCardle will bat 4th. Kason Eubanks, he hits 5th. Bryce Cunningham, the 6 spot. Grant Youngblood in the 7 hole. Tucker Livings will bat 8th, and the 9-hitter is Slade Seaborn. Havana's got Caden Brock on the hill. Behind the plate, you'll find Colton Harrell. The first baseman is Seth Jones. As this one is lifted towards right field, and there you've got a collision. Ball drops out. Hopping up to retrieve is Laird. But that wasn't a little miniature collision. It was a full speed ahead. Emery Laird and Harrison Sandberg. And Laird's got a little size on Sandberg. And Sandberg is the one that took the worst end of the collision. And he is a little wobbly. And Nate Applin will wind up at second. Well, there were 2 going for it. Neither knew the other was. Laird hopped up immediately. Sandberg a little slower getting up. It will be charged, by the way, as an error. But right now, certainly more concerning than the error. And the base runner at second is just to make sure that Sandberg over in right field is okay. And it looks like he's going to come out. Well, the collision, it looked like the better part of the collision was in the upper body area. So you're talking chest and head area. And Sandberg's going to come out of the game. Does so to some applause.
Number 28, Jacob Singletary enters the game.
And Jacob Singletary will now step in right field, and the assumption is as well that Sandberg will see Singletary bat in the 8 spot too. That's probably pretty good logic. So Singletary in. We will get back to the play. We hope that Sandberg is all right. And for those watching, I think he's going to be okay, but it's hot, and that kind of accents the pain.
Now batting, the shortstop, number 2, Aiden Amos.
So Jacob Singletary is now over in right. And that's hit in the direction of right. Immediately tested, of course, coming over to the field is Laird. Rounding third, coming home and scoring, Nate Applin. It's an Aiden Amos single that drives in the game's first run.
Now batting, the first baseman, number 11, Landon Johnson.
Landon Johnson, base runner at first, 1-zip score. Wiregrass batting. Austin McCardle stepping to the on-deck circle. That will travel between the legs of catcher Harrell and go to the backstop, which allows Amos an opportunity to get to second. One pitch outside of the strike zone to Landon Johnson. It is hot, but not as hot as it could be. Temperatures supposed to get up to around 90. Those heat indices, though, feeling a bit warmer. Might as well go to the iPhone weather app and see. 88 currently. Feels like 96, 62% humidity. Winds out of the north at 6. 10-mile visibility. UV index is at 10.2. Don't know exactly what that means, except if you go outside, need to put a little copper tone on. Outside of the strike zone, 3-1 to Johnson. Austin McCardle on deck. Big thanks to those who made coverage possible, including Al Britton Electric of Tallahassee, Iron Horse Heavy Equipment Repair in Havana, Tony Kelly Heating and C. Gotta add that C to it, makes more sense. Tony Kelly Heating and Air in Tallahassee, Havana Auto Parts, your Napa dealer, and Emery's in Quincy. And there is a balk that's got Amos to third. Runner at third, Landon Johnson batting. Count full, Austin McCardle to follow. It is chopped towards short, fielded by Brown. Over to first, gets the out. Johnson, though, drives in Amos. And it's a two-zip game. Austin McCardle followed by Kason Eubanks. Fouled back up against the screen. Second time we've had an opportunity to see Wiregrass. The Cards yesterday facing Ruston, Louisiana, and winning it by 9, 13-4. It's our first opportunity to see Havana. A couple of teams out of Pool A. You can see by the body language that McCardle thought about it, might should have. Into the strike zone, 0-2. When you get to the top of the second, Colton Harrell starts things off. Swing, a miss. And Austin McCardle is out number 2, first K of the contest for Caden Brock. And Brock might have thought it was the end of the inning. And he may not have been the only one. I think Colton Harrell thought so too. They were both headed to the dugout. Instead, it is out number 2. And Kason Eubanks with 2 gone steps in. Too far inside with the opening pitch from Brock. Bryce Cunningham next. Colton Harrell, Jackson Machado, C.J. Albritton. When you get to the top part of the second for Havana, it is an hour, 50-minute time limit. With parameters, by the way. We don't just stop the game at an hour 50, but stop it near an hour 50. There are instances that allow it to go on, like in the previous game, probably went a total of about an hour 55 or so, maybe even closer to 2. On the outside part of the plate, 2-1. But for the most part, it's around an hour 50. Many of these games have wrapped up earlier. Hit to Brown at short. He will field and go to first and get Eubanks on the 6-3 putout. 5 go to the plate, 3 go down, nobody left on, 2 come in and score. Applin and Amos. We head to the top of the second. Harold Machado and Al Britton all coming up.
She's frustrated. She's having trouble with her defensive player. Look at this sweet pass behind the back for 2 on the assist.
And that one is hit on a rope to center field. Watch that one. And it is, oh, what a great diving catch by the center field.
And in that game, it was basically a running back by committee. I mean, you had a lot of guys carrying the football. Is that the protocol for the upcoming season for the backfield of Jackson State?
It's a really nice pitch to get the ground ball double play. Second one.
6-5 is your final. East Georgia advances to the championship game.
Ozark, a quaint southern town in southeast Alabama, home of Fort Rucker, the world's largest helicopter training facility, and the Army Aviation Museum. While you're in Ozark, enjoy unique shopping and dining. Visit our beautifully manicured downtown square, home of Claybank Jamboree and the Ozark Crawdad and Music Festival. Relax at Ed Lisenby Lake with its excellent fishing and 3-mile walking and birding trail. But no baseball enthusiast can leave Ozark without visiting historic Eagles Stadium, built in 1946. Come enjoy Ozark.
Colton Harrell starting off the second. Jackson Machado, C.J. Albritton due up in the inning 2. 2 runs played at the bottom of the first. Applin and Amos. Pitch on the outside part of the plate, and the count evens at 1. Fans under the grandstand watching baseball with the fans on them. The electric fans providing a little bit of a breeze on a warm July afternoon. 1-2 now on Colton Harrell. Hit to first, and I don't know if he got there. Boy, that was close. Johnson had to accelerate and after fielding and get there ahead of Colton Harrell.
Jackson Machado.
One out for Jackson Machado. Outside with the opening pitch, C.J. Albritton moving to the on-deck circle. Bottom of the second, Bryce Cunningham, Grant Youngblood, Tucker Livings. 6, 7, and 8 coming to the plate. Hit to short. Fielded by Amos, and he will go to first, and Machado is out 2. 2 down for C.J. Albritton.
Now batting, the left fielder number 17, C.J.
Emery Laird moving to the on-deck circle. Muscled over in the direction of third, charging in McCardle, and he'll throw wide, and reaching out trying to make the catch was Johnson, and then he ran into Albritton. Albritton slow getting up. Kudos to Johnson to go check on the runner. These days it's in vogue to just let him lie there. You know, I'm not a big fan of that stuff. There's nothing wrong with checking to make sure somebody's okay, and apparently Albritton is, and he will go to second as a result. Throw, I think, went over into the dugout. At least that would be the assumption, and Albritton will take second.
Emery Laird.
So the air gets Albritton on. He is at second for Emery Laird. Jacob Singletary, who was not supposed to be, or at least slated to be, the 8-hitter, will be because Harrison Sandberg was involved with that collision with Emery Laird, this gentleman at the plate, in the bottom of the first. And Laird hopped up okay, and Sandberg had to go to the dugout. So Singletary is next. And you got a balk on Trammell that will get Albritton to third. "90 feet from scoring the first run of the ball game is Albritton. Here's the 1-1 offering. Into the dirt. Well, that's one of those I didn't mean to swings by Laird. Count even at 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 gone. Hit in the direction of left. I'm not sure that it was immediately picked up in left. by Slade Seaborn, but it's picked up soon enough to be able to register the out and leave Al Britton on. 4 go up, 3 go down, 1 gets on, compliments of the error. He is left aboard, nobody scores at the top of the second. To the bottom part of the inning we go. Wiregrass up by a pair.
Frustrated. She's having trouble with her defensive player. Look at this sweet pass behind the back for 2 on the assist.
And that one is hit on a rope to center field. Watch that one. And it is, oh, what a great diving catch by the center field.
And in that game, it was basically a running back by committee. I mean, you had a lot of guys carrying the football. Is that the protocol for the upcoming season for the backfield of Jackson State?
It's a really nice pitch to get the ground ball double play. Second one.
6-5 is your final. East Georgia advances to the championship game.
Ozark, a quaint southern town in southeast Alabama, home of Fort Rucker, the world's largest helicopter training facility, and the Army Aviation Museum. While you're in Ozark, enjoy unique shopping and dining. Visit our beautifully manicured downtown square, home of Claybank Jamboree and the Ozark Crawdad and Music Festival. Relax at Ed Lisenby Lake with its excellent fishing and 3-mile walking and birding trail. But no baseball enthusiast can leave Ozark without visiting historic Eagle Stadium, built in 1946. Come enjoy Ozark.
We head to the bottom part of the second. Bryce Cunningham leading things off. Grant Youngblood, Tucker Livings due up in the inning, too.
22.
And request as to the number of pitches for, I'm not sure which pitcher. I think it would have to be at 22. I guess that would be the Wiregrass pitcher, James Trammell. I don't think that there were 22 pitches in the bottom of the first for Caden Brock. Fouled away. Nothing in one on Bryce Cunningham. Bottom part of the second, top part of the inning. The base runner gets on. Al Britton reaches. Compliments of the error made at third by McCardle. And eventually winds up at third. But stays there as Emory Laird flies out to left field. 4 up, 3 down. Nobody scores in the top of the inning. It has been a one-hit game total thus far. And that one hit belongs to Aiden Amos. One hop to second. Run goes over to first. And Cunningham is out number 1.
Now batting the catcher, number 15, Grant Youngblood.
One out for Grant Youngblood. The DH Tucker Livings moving to the on-deck circle. Into the strike zone with the opening pitch to Youngblood. Then cut an inside pitch from Caden Brock. Comes up empty, 1 ball and a couple of strikes. Got a couple of games left today. And then it is off today, number 3 in pool play. By the end of the day tomorrow, we're done with pool play. Everybody's played everybody once and got 3 games under the belt by the time we wrap up the 4 o'clock game tomorrow. And that 6 p.m. game tomorrow evening, bracket play. Pool A and Pool B's winner will face one another. Baseball going on, too, in Dothan on the campus of Wallace Community College. You've got 8, 10, 12, and 2 o'clock games there. Which means this morning at 8, Gonzales and Mississippi Elite battled. At 10, Greene County, Virginia, Greenbrier, Tennessee, as you got a base hit from Youngblood into left. Second base hit of the game for Wiregrass, and there's a base runner aboard. And he will get a courtesy runner.
Now batting the designated hitter. Number 1, Tucker Livings.
That is Malik Vaughn, who is over at first. So Vaughn running for Youngblood. Throw goes to first, and Vaughn gets back safely. Slade Seaborn to the on-deck circle. 2-zip Wiregrass lead, hoping to add more. Vaughn getting his lead at first. Brock with a couple of glances to the base runner and then delivers into the strike zone to Living. "26 minutes into the game, bottom of the second. Vaughn getting well off the bag at first and thinking about a throw down is Harold, but decides not to. Diving back in, Vaughn. Tucker Livings, the DH. James Trammell, the pitcher, not hitting often in this World Series, probably more often than not. Pitcher is also a hitter, but not in this one. As a matter of fact, I said probably more often than not. That is definitely more often than not. You've got the pitcher as a hitter, but not in this one. Tucker Livings serving the DH role, pitches high. Count goes to 3-1 on Livings. When you get to the top of the third, Jacob Singletary, Caden Brock, Tucker Rudd coming up. Fouled away on the hit and run. Vaughn broke for second. Looks back, the ball fouled out of play by Livings. Historic Eagle Stadium, Ozark, Alabama. On a Friday, second day of pool play in the World Series for 15 New Dixie baseball. Right over the head of Brown at short. Travels into left field, and back-to-back base hits have Vaughn at second and Livings at first. So a couple of base runners on as Slade Seaborn comes to the plate.
Now batting the left fielder, number 6, Slade Seaborn.
Top of the order, Nate Applin moving to the on-deck circle. Cunningham wrapped into the 4-3 to begin the inning. Since then, Youngblood and Livings with base hits, 2 are on. And putting it down the first base line, Seaborn, that is perfectly placed, safe over at first. Seaborn and the bases are loaded. Looked like Seaborn and the baseball in a foot race to get to first. And Seaborn gets there and the base is full as we go back to the top of the order. Of course, I guess the baseball couldn't do a foot race. Okay, race to get to first. Back to the top of the order. Nate Applin reached on an error and eventually came in and scored a run. Takes one on the outside part of the plate for strike one. Aiden Amos moving to the on-deck circle. Hit to second. It is fielded there by Rudd. Will go to second to Brown to get one out. Hoping to turn the double play. Did not get the 3. Got the 6, actually the 4 and the 6. Did not get the 3. That means Livings is at third. Youngblood has scored. Applin at first. And Seaborn back into the dugout with 2 gone. It is fouled away by Amos. Nate got a huge jump. Nate Applin, the base runner, at first. But it is fouled away, and Applin will have to go back to first. Aiden Amos with an RBI single in the first, also scored a run as well. He advanced on a balk and came in on the 6-3 putout of Landon Johnson. No balls and a strike. Amos batting. 8, 9, and 1 coming to the plate when you get to the top of the third. Over to first goes Brock with a throw, able to get back safely is Applin. Anticipating Applin breaking for second, did not then. Let's see if he does soon. Line softly over to third, catch made on the shoestrings by Machado. And Amos is out, number 3. Couple of base runners left on. One comes in. 3-zip. Wiregrass Cards.
Pitch count 37.
Frustrated. She's having trouble with her defensive player. Look at this sweet pass behind the back for 2 on the assist.
And that one is hit on a rope to center field. Watch that one. And it is, oh, what a great diving catch by the center field.
And in that game, it was basically a running back by committee. I mean, you had a lot of guys carrying the football. Is that the protocol for the upcoming season for the backfield of Jackson State?
It's a really nice pitch to get the ground ball double play. Second one.
6-5 is your final. East Georgia advances to the championship game.
Wherever life takes you, remember all roads lead to Econo Lodge. We make travel easy. Econo Lodge, easy stop on the road.
Top of the third, Jacob Singletary coming to the plate. It was Singletary who had to come in for Harrison Sandberg. Again, going back to the first inning. There was a pop-up in the direction of right center field. It was during the Nate Applin at-bat. And Emery Laird and Harrison Sandberg both in hot pursuit of the fly ball, and they ran into one another. Laird hops up, Sandberg slower getting up. And after coach comes out to check on Sandberg, the decision is made that he's coming out and Jacob Singletary steps in. So here is Singletary, who is not anticipating being a starter and wasn't a starter, but is going to play the bulk of the game like a starter. Outside with a pitch, 2-0 to Singletary. Caden Brock, and then the top of the order, Tucker Rudd to follow. In the majors, got one game in progress. Cardinals over the Cubbies, 5-1. That is in the bottom of the third. Everything else is later tonight. Three balls, no strikes. Singletary takes, and Trammell delivers. 3-1. A little cloud coverage, nothing that looks particularly ominous. Just a few little clouds drifting over. There is the walk issued to Singletary. And Singletary will get on to begin the third.
Now batting the pitcher number 29, Caden Brock.
Caden Brock, the pitcher, with a base runner at first. Let's see how long Singletary stays at first. Pitches outside. 1-0 to Brock. Tucker run to the on-deck circle. Wiregrass getting another run in the bottom part of the second. Picked up a pair in the first and got one in the second. Throw to first and safely back as Singletary. Low and away, count evens up 1 each. Well, here's the rest of the day here at Eagle Stadium in Ozark. West Georgia and Mendenhall, Mississippi. And Trammell commits the balk. And it's got Singletary to second. In your 6 o'clock matchup tonight, Monroe, Louisiana, and Taylor, Rehoboth, Alabama. So half of the remaining 4 teams we will see later today here at Eagle Stadium we haven't seen before. Well, apparently the Wiregrass Card coach didn't like the ball call. And now have they asked for an appeals committee? I don't know if there is an appeals committee here. I would assume yes, based on the fact the umpires have called for Dixie officials. Well, I'm speculating that it has to do with the balk, and that's just based on the fact that that's when the argument or the disgruntlement from coach began. So the umpires talking with the coach, and by the way, when this happens, I don't think the clock stops ticking. You make an appeal, the clock ticks. Understand the clock doesn't stop for anybody. Appeals, you name it. Well, it looks like the officials are not walking immediately back onto the diamond, which would lead me to believe that there may be more involved than a simple explanation from a member of the appeals committee. So we got a break. Let's see if we can stick 3 minutes of this in while we wait.
It was in 1957 when 23 members of the Alexandria, Louisiana Youth Baseball Association saw the need to change a long-held practice of 13-year-olds competing in a division with 14 and 15-year-old athletes. These nearly 24 baseball progressives envisioned a league in which teens could exhibit their talents on a field custom designed for their skill sets, with rules that would allow for a smoother transition to traditional baseball-sized playing fields. It was in that year that these baseball visionaries gave birth to Dixie Boys Baseball. The program had humble beginnings, with 7 leagues formed in the first year. For 3 years, Dixie Boys Baseball only existed in Louisiana, but in 1960, Mississippi joined, in 61, Alabama. And today, there are more than 350 leagues in 11 states, more than 1,200 teams, and better than 25,000 participants in programs for 13 through 19-year-olds. When Dixie Boys Baseball turned 16, the now National Board of Directors of Dixie Boys decided it was time to grow again, and in 1973 established Dixie Majors Baseball for 15 to 17-year-olds. 5 years later, Dixie Majors added 18-year-olds. The life of Dixie Boys and Majors has been a progressive evolution, adding a scholarship program in 1984, creating Junior Dixie Boys in 1996. The year 2000 led to the development of a Dixie Boys Directors Training Course, along with a gold medal performance in the USA Baseball Tournament of Stars. In 2006, 19-year-olds were allowed to participate in Dixie Majors Baseball. 2007, a pitch count was implemented in Dixie Boys Baseball to determine pitcher eligibility. Dixie Boys Baseball is recognized nationally for its efforts in promoting a safer environment for youth participants. In 2011, a Hall of Fame was created, with the only inductee that year, appropriately, program founder Bubba Brasher. In 2013, the 15U division was created and played their inaugural World Series this year with 20 teams participating. Yes, it is 2016, a monumental season for Dixie boys, our 60th year in existence, and what a fitting place to celebrate. Central Louisiana, just miles from where it all began 6 decades ago. Over the years, baseball has been good to Dixie, and Dixie has been good to baseball. Players who have donned the various uniform colors and styles with Dixie boys and or Dixie majors have gone on to play at every level of baseball, prep, collegiate, and professional. Yet even those who have concluded their baseball careers with Dixie boys majors baseball applaud the character, discipline, and professionalism emphasized while participating in America's pastime. Outstanding volunteers found at the local, state, and national level have dedicated much time and effort to providing youth with the opportunity to play the great game of baseball. Dixie Boys and Dixie Majors recognizes the ever-changing landscape of youth baseball. However, one constant will remain: molding of young baseball athletes into not only better players, but better people. We are Dixie Boys Baseball, a proud baseball tradition.
Well, while we were away, the appeal was if the balk and the toss counted as a pitch. It did not. Came right back to the action, and Caden Brock delivered with a base hit into left field. And then it's stolen second, so now you got a couple of base runners on as we get back to the action here in the top of the third. Tucker Rudd batting. Rudd, he reached on an error and then was picked off in the double play. Timothy Brown followed with a line out to the pitcher, and Rudd off the bag at first, picked off there. 3 pitches outside of the strike zone to Rudd. Timothy Brown will follow. A couple of base runners on. It is slapped over towards Eubanks. He will concede the run, get the out on the 4-3. Havana's on the board in the third.
Now batting, number 2, Timothy Brown.
1 out with Timothy Brown coming to the plate. Seth Jones moves to the on-deck circle. It was Brown who lined out to the pitcher. And it is Brown who takes a James Trammell pitch in low. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Trammell to Brown. Outside, 2-0. Havana picking up their first base hit of the ball game. It came from the 9-hitter. And now Brown's hit by the pitch. And we'll go to first. That puts the tying run on.
Now batting, number 10, Seth Jones.
Runners at first and third for Seth Jones. Jones struck out in the first, batting here in the third. Facing James Trammell, has a couple of base runners on. Brown likely doesn't stay long at first. Now timeout called, and coach will walk out to talk to James Trammell. Trammell's given up his first base hit in the ball game here in the third. He has given up his first walk of the game in the third, and that's apparently it for him. The new pitcher when we return to Ozark, Alabama. He's got running room. Infield kicks it in. 40. Got one guy to beat, and he beats it easily into the end zone. It is a
center field. Toward the triangle they go.
The new pitcher is Tucker Livings. Livings in for James Trammell. Trammell worked 2 1/3 innings, faced 11, and 1 apparently his favorite number. 1 hit, 1 strikeout, 1 walk, 1 run thus far. But there are a couple of runners on. As there is a swing and a miss by Seth Jones. Jones struck out in the first. So James Trammell handing it over to Tucker Livings, and Livings will likely share duties. Was the DH, now will bat in the 8th spot as the pitcher. Livings with a look over to first, over at first. Timothy Brown. Brown hit by a pitch. And now Brown, the throw coming to the plate, and Wiregrass not biting. Well, the Havana squad threw out the bait, and Wiregrass nibbled but would not bite. Goes home and gets Caden Brock trying to get to the house. Brown will wind up at second, but there's 2 gone. Hit to short, fielded by Amos. Goes to first, and Seth Jones will hit into the 6-3. 1-run plates, though. Havana's on the board as we go to the bottom of the third in the 3-1 game.
Pitch count 3.
She's frustrated. She's having trouble with her defensive player. Look at this sweet pass behind the back for 2 on the assist.
And that one is hit on a rope to center field. Watch that one. And it is, oh, what a great diving catch by the center field.
And in that game, it was basically a running back by committee. I mean, you had a lot of guys carrying the football. Is that the protocol for the upcoming season for the backfield of Jackson State?
It's a really nice pitch to get the ground ball double play. Second one.
6-5 is your final. East Georgia advances to the championship game.
Ozark, a quaint southern town in southeast Alabama, home of Fort Rucker, the world's largest helicopter training facility, and the Army Aviation Museum. While you're in Ozark, enjoy unique shopping and dining. Visit our beautifully manicured downtown square, home of Claybank Jamboree and the Ozark Crawdad and Music Festival. Relax at Ed Lisenby Lake with its excellent fishing and 3-mile walking and birding trail. But no baseball enthusiast can leave Ozark without visiting historic Eagles Stadium, built in 1946. Come enjoy Ozark.
Bottom of the third, Landon Johnson starting things off. Havana and Wiregrass. Not quite 50 minutes into this one. And in the bottom of the third. Popped up by Johnson to short. Brown gets onto the grass, makes the catch, and there's 1 away. One down, Johnson popping out to short. Austin McCardle next. Case and Eubanks moving to the on-deck circle. Well, weather, again, for the most part, cooperating. Had some showers on the opening ceremonies last night. Had some showers for the first 20 minutes or so in the opening game today. But as you can see, it's bright and sunny now. Hit over to Rudd at second. He'll go to first, and McCardle is out number 2. 2 gone for Kason Eubanks.
Now batting number 8, Kason Eubanks.
Bryce Cunningham will follow. Toss coming in low and just a little bit outside. Well, again, a big thank you to all those making coverage possible, including Al Britton Electric of Tallahassee, Iron Horse Heavy Equipment Repair in Havana, Tony Kelly Heating and AC in Tallahassee, Havana Auto Supply, your Napa dealer, and Emery's in Quincy, Florida. All helping to make this coverage possible here in Ozark, Alabama. 2 gone, nobody on. Eubanks now on, got underneath Brown's mitt, diving it short. And a 2-out single, 5th hit of the game for the Wiregrass Cards has Kason Eubanks aboard. It brings Bryce Cunningham to the plate, who was 0 for 1. He ground out to short, or make that second, ground out to second in the second. Over to first with the throw, diving back in safely as Eubanks. Three-one contest. Wiregrass trying to get that run back. It is hit hard. Left field. That is over the head of C.J. Albritton. Goes all the way to the warning track and bounces up against the block wall. Here comes Eubanks home. To second is Bryce Cunningham with a double. And the Cards indeed get that run back and extend the lead once more to 3. So a couple of 2-outs, base hits.
Now batting number 15, Grant Youngblood.
Resulting in a run plated, and it brings Grant Youngblood to the plate. Tucker Livings moving to the on-deck circle, and that one's going to pop Youngblood. Got him right between the 1 and the 5. And Caden Brock will put another base runner on. And here comes Malik Vaughn to run for Youngblood.
Vaughn. Now batting number 1, Tucker Livings.
So 2 go quickly, Johnson and McCardle. Since then, Eubanks has singled, Cunningham has doubled. And Youngblood's been hit by a pitch. Tucker Livings fouling the pitch out of play. Wiregrass getting that lead back up to 3, outside with a pitch, and the count evens up. Top of the 4th, mid part of the order coming to the plate for Havana. Colton Harrell, Jackson Machado, and C.J. Albritton will all come to the plate. Hit and run. It is popped up over in the direction of right. Jacob Singletary brings it in, and out will go Tucker Livings, leaving a couple of base runners on. 1 run comes in, though. Wiregrass rebuilds the lead to 3 as we head to the 4th.
Frustrated. She's having trouble with her defensive player. Look at this sweet pass behind the back for 2 on the assist.
And that one is hit on a rope to center field. Watch that one. And it is, oh, what a great diving catch by the center field.
And in that game, it was basically a running back by committee. I mean, you had a lot of guys carrying the football. Is that the protocol for the upcoming season for the backfield of Jackson State?
It's a really nice pitch to get the ground ball double play. Second one.
6-5 is your final. East Georgia advances to the championship game.
wherever life takes you. Remember, all roads lead to Econo Lodge. We make travel easy. Econo Lodge, easy stop on the road.
Leading off, number 14, Colton Harrell.
Back to the top part of inning number 4, actually to the top of the 4th we go. And I guess back to the 4 spot. Colton Harrell leading things off. Jackson Machado, C.J. Albritton due up in the inning 2. Harrell with the ground out to first in the 2nd. He was the first out of the inning. Hits this one hard towards right field, and that is going to get beyond Bryce Cunningham. And the possibility of 3, you could see Harrell looking to his coach at third to see whether he should head on to third. Instead, will hold up at second with a leadoff double.
Now batting number 5, Jackson Machado.
And Havana in business here in the 4th as Jackson Machado comes to the plate. Machado is wrapped into the 6-3. Off the handle to Machado. Nobody covering the first base. Able to get over, though, is Livings. Nice job of getting there quickly. Look for a moment as though Machado might beat Livings to the bag, but Livings able to accelerate and take the toss over underhanded from Johnson. Harrell will go to third on the sacrifice.
18, Nolan Barr.
It goes 3-1. Gets out number 1, but gets Harrell to third. On the inside part of the plate. Fouled away. This is Nolan Barr, by the way. I had to go through the phone where I've got my lineups into center field. That's a base hit from Barr, and it brings in Harrell.
Now batting number 13, Emery Laird.
Makes it a 4-2 contest. Emery Laird popped out to left field his last at-bat. That was facing the starting pitcher, James Trammell. But he sends it in the same direction. And there to make the catch is Slade Seaborn. And you've got out number 2.
Now batting number 28, Jacob.
2 out for Jacob Singletary. Singletary walked and scored a run in the 3rd, getting another at-bat here in the 4th. When you get to the bottom part of the inning, it's the bottom part of the order. Slade Seaborn who will start things off. Into the strike zone with the opening pitch from Livings. Well, we gave you an update on the majors. Let's see if we can check out what's going on in the open. Kistner had the lead the last time we checked it. Zach Johnson and Kevin Kistner now tied for the lead. Both at 6 under. Throw over to first. Safely back goes Barr. Singletary fouling it off. 0-2 on Singletary. Caden Brock to the on-deck circle. Havana again picks up a run. Got one in the 3rd, gets one here in the 4th. And again, 2 within 2. Just outside. Livings trying to nibble on the edges, but off by a smidge. Whatever a smidge is the equivalent to. We're 1 hour into this one, so 50 minutes away from the time limit. Nice diving stop by Johnson. With a throw over to first, will not get Singletary going on to third. That is Barr. It's going to be charged as an error that gets Barr to third and Singletary on.
Now batting, number 29, Caden Brock.
And there are runners at first and third for Caden Brock. Brock came to the plate and produced the first base hit of the game for Havana back in the third. Since then, there have been 2 hits, and Brock's back in. Pops it up in the direction of center field, going back a few. Nate Applin, and he will make the catch. And Brock will fly out, leaving a couple of base runners on, but to make that one comes in, it scores, and it's a 2-run game. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Bottom of the order. Slade Seaborn will start things off when we come back.
Frustrated. She's having trouble with her defensive player. Look at this sweet pass behind the back for 2 on the assist.
And that one is hit on a rope to center field. Watch that one. And it is, oh, what a great diving catch by the center field.
And in that game, it was basically a running back by committee. I mean, you had a lot of guys carrying the football. Is that the protocol for the upcoming season for the backfield of Jackson State?
It's a really nice pitch to get the ground ball double play. Second one.
6-5 is your final. East Georgia advances to the championship game.
Ozark, a quaint southern town in southeast Alabama, home of Fort Rucker, the world's largest helicopter training facility, and the Army Aviation Museum. While you're in Ozark, enjoy unique shopping and dining. Visit our beautifully manicured downtown square, home of Claybank Jamboree and the Ozark Crawdad Music Festival. Relax at Ed Lisenby Lake with its excellent fishing and 3-mile walking and birding trail. But no baseball enthusiast can leave Ozark without visiting historic Eagle Stadium, built in 1946. Come enjoy Ozark.
Bottom of the fourth, 4-2 contest. Wiregrass with a 2-run lead. Havana tacking on a run in the top of the fourth to again trim it to 2. Slade Seaborn, who had a bunt single down the first base line in the second. Coming to the plate to begin things in the fourth. Nate Applin, Aiden Amos due up in the inning 2. Popped up over towards first, foul territory. Seth Jones makes the catch, and Slade Seaborn is out number 1.
Now batting, number 3, Nate Applin.
Back to the top of the order, Nate Applin reached on an error, ground into a 4-6. He is 0 for 2 in the game. 1 away. Hayden Amos moving to the on-deck circle. Caden Brock working his way into the bottom of the fourth, starting pitching for Wiregrass. Left after 2 1/3, James Trammell. By the way, you see a number there on your screen. It's a shout-out number. Want to let us know where you're watching, and then send a greeting or a cheer or a go get 'em to a player or a team. 334-488-1385 is the number. 334-488-1385. Strike delivered, and the count evens at 2 on Applin. 334-488-1385. 2-2 pitch. Count runs 3-2. Payoff pitch ripped into left center field. And a one-out Nate Applin single. 7th hit of the game for Wiregrass. Has a base runner on in the 4th, the home part of the inning for the Wiregrass Cards.
Now batting, number 2, Aiden Amos.
Aiden Amos, 1 for 2. He's singled, he's driven in a run, he's scored a run, he's lined out to third. Single came in the 1st, the line out in the 2nd, batting again in the 4th. Throw goes to 1st, and Applin will dive back in safely. Well, we are approximately 45 minutes away from the time limit. Fouled off by Applin on the hit and run. Or actually on Amos, it is Applin who's running. Landon Johnson on deck. Here's the 0-1. Stays high. And the count will even at 1. And don't forget, too, about Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Facebook and Twitter. Friend us. YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Applin with a stolen base. He is at 2nd in scoring position as Wiregrass again is trying to get a run back, given up in the top part of the inning. One ball, couple of strikes on Amos. So on Twitter, put @JockJive in the search engine. Wrapped to third, fielded by Machado. Goes to 1st. Throw back to 3rd, but able to dive in safely as Applin. So Amos wraps into the 5-3. Applin goes to 3rd, but he's there with 2 gone.
Now batting, number 11, Landon Johnson.
And Landon Johnson, who had an RBI on a 6-3 ground out in the 1st and then popped out to short in the 3rd. Comes to the plate with another chance to drive in a run in the 4th. Inside pitch. One ball, no strikes. Hit into the 6-3 in the 1st. And that brought in Aiden Amos. And then popped out to short in the 3rd. Drives this one into center field, but it's going to stay up long enough for Emery Laird to get over and bring in the fly ball.
Pitch count 64.
4 go up, 3 go down, 1 left on, 1 base hit, 7 now in the game. And another runner stranded. That is 5 left on for Wiregrass as we head to the 5th on JockJive Sports.
Frustrated. She's having trouble with her defensive player. Look at this sweet pass behind the back for 2 on the assist.
And that one is hit on a rope to center field. Watch that one. And it is, oh, what a great diving catch by the center field.
And in that game, it was basically a running back by committee. I mean, you had a lot of guys carrying the football. Is that the protocol for the upcoming season for the backfield of Jackson State?
It's a really nice pitch to get the ground ball double play. Second one.
6-5 is your final. East Georgia advances to the championship game.
Top of the order, top of the 5th, Tucker Rudd leading things off. Timothy Brown, Seth Jones due up in the inning 2. A 4-2 Wiregrass lead as we get to the 5th, and still 45 minutes away from the time limit, so this one might make it to the 7th too. Haven't had many, but the game that preceded went 7. And this one's got a shot at 7 innings too. Rudd reached on an error in the first, ground into a 4-3 in the third, and gets a single to begin the fifth. Into left field.
Now batting, number 2, Timothy Brown.
And Havana with the base runner for Timothy Brown. Brown has lined out to the pitcher and been hit by a pitch. He drives this one towards left field, but looks like Slade Seaborn is right where he needs to be to make the catch, and there's one away.
Now batting, number 10, Seth Jones.
Seth Jones has struck out and ground out. He is 0 for 2 in the game. Colton Harrell moving to the on-deck circle. Rudd's got his lead over at first. It has popped up over in the direction of right, and coming a long way over was Eubanks to make the catch. Tagging and going to second. He will be there safely is Tucker Rudd. There's 2 gone. Well, Eubanks covered a lot of ground to get to that high popper from Jones in foul territory. And then turns around and fires to second, trying to get Rudd.
Batting number 14, Colton Harrell.
And Rudd will be there safely, but with 2 gone, a base runner in scoring position for Colton Harrell. Harrell is ground out to first and double. Pitch into the dirt, but it stays in front of Youngblood. And that means that Rudd stays put at second. Throw goes to second, able to get back safely is Rudd. Bottom of the fifth, Austin McCardle, Casey Eubanks, Bryce Cunningham due up for Wiregrass. Big cut, no contact. Colton Harrell grounding out to first as the first out in the second inning. Then led off the fourth with that double, came in and scored on the Barr single. Fouled off 1 and 2. And apparently there was catcher's interference. Youngblood apparently got that mitt in the way of the Colton Harrell swing.
Now batting, number 5, Jackson Machado.
And a couple of base runners on for Jackson Machado. Machado has ground out to short and laid down a sacrifice. And he hits this one towards the gap. It hits and rolls. Runners are on the run. Rudd will come in and score. Harrell will come in and score. Pulling into second with a 2 RBI double, Jackson Machado. And the damage coming with 2 gone.
Now batting, number 18, Nolan Barr.
Catcher's interference got Harrell on. Rudd was already on. Compliments of the leadoff single. Catcher's interference put Harrell on, and then Machado with a double drives them both in, and this one's tied up at 4. Nolan Barr, RBI single. C.J. Albritton started in the 6th spot. And then Barr came in, and now coach out, and it looks like he's going to swap pitchers. Living's coming out, new pitcher coming in. 23 pitches while I'm on the bump for Livings. The new pitcher when we return. Tied up at 4, and the new pitcher is Bryce Cunningham. Cunningham coming in from right field. Tucker Livings is now in right. And the first Bryce Cunningham pitch, low and outside. Machado, the base runner, at second. Barr batting. He's got an RBI single to his credit. Came in and hit for Al Britton in the 4th. And it is rolled foul to run the count 1-2. Tied up at 4 here in the top of the 5th. Bottom of the inning, Austin McCardle, Casey Eubanks, Bryce Cunningham coming to the plate. And as far as your clock, we're about 32 minutes away from wrapping it up. Swing and a miss. Out will go Barr. Machado will be left on, but Machado has driven in 2. And the game is tied as we head to the bottom of the 5th.
Frustrated. She's having trouble with her defensive player. Look at this sweet pass behind the back for 2 on the assist.
And that one is hit on a rope to center field. Watch that one. And it is, oh, what a great diving catch by the center field.
And in that game, it was basically a running back by committee. I mean, you had a lot of guys carrying the football. Is that the protocol for the upcoming season for the backfield of Jackson State?
It's a really nice pitch to get the ground ball double play. Second one.
6-5 is your final. East Georgia advances to the championship game.
Wherever life takes you, remember all roads lead to Econo Lodge. We make travel easy. Econo Lodge, easy stop on the road.
Just about all white, Jones County. Diving catch at shortstop. Gross. Towards the gap. Diving catch in center field by Ben Aklinski. There is a shot towards deep short. Kraft's got it. Long throw over, and he got it. Bottom of the 5th, Austin McCardle leading things off. Casey Eubanks, Bryce Cunningham due up in the inning 2. Got a brand new game after Jackson Machado drove in 2 and makes it 4-4. 30 minutes away from the cutoff time-wise, but again, that's got conditions on it. Into the strike zone, 3-1. Just because we hit an hour and 50 doesn't mean that we close out the game. Towards left field, and that will drop in. Well, apparently you've got interference again. Is it interference this time on the Havana catcher? Well, that is the assumption, as sent on to first is Austin McCardle. Well, ironically, I don't think we've had catcher's interference called at all in the World Series until today, and they come in the 5th inning, top and bottom part. So 2 catcher's interferences. Caden Brock wraps up his day, the new pitcher, after we come back to Ozark. It is
field. For the triangle it goes.
Popped up over into foul territory, and Murdoch, did he make? Murdoch looking for another TD toss. He's got it. Touchdown. New pitcher on the hill, Nolan Barr. While we were away, it was a pitch to Kason Eubanks, and apparently he thought Eubanks was either going to hit and run or lay down the punt, because Austin McCardle took off for second, got caught in no man's land, and thrown out at first. So the base is cleared and one away here in the bottom of the fifth in a 4-4 game. Kason Eubanks has ground into a 6-3 and single. He's scored a run as well. Swing and a miss, and out will go Eubanks. Well, the catcher's interference had gotten McCardle on, but since then, McCardle quickly exits and Eubanks strikes out. 2 away for Bryce Cunningham. The new pitcher, Nolan Barr. Caden Brock leads after 4 innings. Faces 22, gives up 7 hits. Will give up a total of 4 runs. Strikes out 1, no walks given. And neither starting pitcher can win it. It is down the line into left field, and extra bases for Bryce Cunningham. On his way to second, there it will be retrieved by Al Britton. And standing at second with a double is Cunningham.
Courtesy runner number 4, Devin Say.
Devin Say running for Cunningham at second. Grant Youngblood coming to the plate. Grant Youngblood, a single hit by a pitch. Strike on the outside part of the plate from Barr. Tied at 4. Wiregrass trying to break the tie here in the bottom of the fifth. Tosses high to Youngblood. Singled and scored a run in the second. Hit by a pitch and left on at first in the third. Barr's 1-1 pitch after giving a look to Cunningham. Or at least his runner Say. Of course, Cunningham, who started in right, now pitching, so allowed the use of a courtesy runner to run in his stead at second. Foul back this way by Youngblood. Count evens at 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 gone. 2 fours on the board, 1 each. Grant Youngblood, who plays the 2 position. Runner on bag 2. Got all kinds of 2s going on. But the pitch outside of the strike zone kind of discombobulated that and runs the count full. Hit in the direction of center field, and coming out onto the grass at second. That was Rudd, and Rudd couldn't reach out and snag it. Run will come in. Cunningham scoring, and that is going to be a Grant Youngblood base hit, which also gives Grant Youngblood an RBI.
Now batting number 1, Tucker Livings.
So the 4-4 tie is broken. Wiregrass with the lead. Well, I happened to be watching Emery Laird when it came off the stick, and he stopped for a minute. As soon as it was hit, he paused for a moment in center field to pick up where it went to. If you break immediately, you got a shot if you were Laird. Hit over to Rudd. Rudd mishandles it into right field, and another run will come in and score. Vaughn, running for Youngblood, scores. And Tucker Livings is safely over at first.
Now batting number 6, Slade Seaborn.
And most of the infield meeting, but the one that is not is Rudd. You don't have to tell Rudd. He's upset with himself. Solid second baseman, but has had, well, you can't call them back-to-back miscues. That Grant Youngblood shot was registered as a base hit, and that would have been a tough play for Rudd to make. But kicking himself for the error that gets that run in and makes it a 6-4 contest. Over to first. It will get beyond Jones, and Livings slides into second. Charged as an error to get Livings into scoring position. And both teams now with 3 mistakes in the game. Slade Seaborn watching a pitch go outside of the strike zone from Nolan Barr. .6-4 game. Nubbed over towards Rudd at second. This one he will gather up and bring to first. And get Seaborn on the 4-3. Livings is left on. He's the 6th stranded by Wiregrass, but Wiregrass has broken apart the 4-4 tie. It's 6-4 Wiregrass Cardinals as we head to the 6th.
Frustrated. She's having trouble with her defensive player. Look at this sweet pass behind the back for 2 on his 6.
And that one is hit on a rope to center field. Watch that one. And it is, oh, what a great diving catch by the center field.
And in that game, it was basically a running back by committee. I mean, you had a lot of guys carrying the football. Is that the protocol for the upcoming season for the backfield of Jackson State?
It's a really nice pitch to get the ground ball double play. Second one.
6-5 is your final. East Georgia advances to the championship game.
Ozark, a quaint southern town in southeast Alabama, home of Fort Rucker, the world's largest helicopter training facility, and the Army Aviation Museum. While you're in Ozark, enjoy unique shopping and dining. Visit our beautifully manicured downtown square, home of Claybank Jamboree and the Ozark Crawdad and Music Festival. Relax at Ed Lisenby Lake with its excellent fishing and 3-mile walking and birding trail. But no baseball enthusiast can leave Ozark without visiting historic Eagle Stadium, built in 1946. Come enjoy Ozark.
First pitch in the top of the 6th, Emory Laird. Jacob Singletary, Caden Brock was batting in the 9th spot, but Brock has been pulled. We will see who hits there. A couple of runs played. They happen with 2 gone. Cunningham with a double, and then Youngblood followed with a double. During the Tucker Livings at bat, an error committed. And 2 runs will play as we get to the 6th inning. On the outside part of the plate. One ball, couple of strikes. Emory Laird with a couple of flyouts. They've both gone to left. This one headed the other way, and that might have got Blue. Blue trying to get out of the way, but I think it may have got him. He was running. He was fleeing. And I think it got him somewhere around the calf, maybe the ankle. but he's okay. And Emory Laird will step back into the batter's box. On the outside part of the plate, Laird strikes out to begin the 6th. Well, we talk about the delay steal. There was kind of a slight delay call from Blue on the strikeout, but it is a call nonetheless that is out number 1. Harrison Sandberry back in. Sandberry started the game in right field and then had that collision with Emory Laird, came out, but he apparently has recovered after sitting on the bench for about an hour or so. Takes a couple of pitches into the strike zone. Hey, again, thanks so much to all who made coverage possible, including Albritton Electric of Tallahassee, Iron Horse Heavy Equipment Repair in Havana, Tony Kelly Heating and AC in Tallahassee, Havana Auto Supply, your Napa dealer there in Havana, and Emory's in Quincy, Florida, all helping to contribute to coverage. On the outside part of the plate, back-to-back Ks with the Havana All-Stars looking. And there's 2 away.
Caden Brock.
As Caden Brock is back in. Well, Caden must have stayed in the game. I am assuming maybe he went to left field. Because you're not batting if you're not in the game, so Brock must have gone to left. And that was when Barr came in to pitch. And now batting in the 9 spot. Count evens, 1 each. Right about 14 minutes left on the clock. And knowing Wiregrass, they're going to take as much time as possible coming to the plate, hitting in the bottom of the 6th, hoping that they don't have to go to the 7th. Sure would like to use, I'm sure. Well, Brock thought he had been struck out. But that takes 3 of those, not 2 of those. And the count is even at 2. On the outside part of the plate, 3 looking, all striking out. Laird, Singletary, actually Sandberry coming in and batting for Singletary and Brock. 1, 2, 3, they go in the top of the 6th. We head to the bottom of the inning. Top of the order for Wiregrass. It is a 6-4 lead, Wiregrass. And on your clock, 13 away from an hour 50.
Frustrated. She's having trouble with her defensive player. Look at this sweet pass behind the back for 2 on the assist.
And that one is hit on a rope to center field. Watch that one. And it is, oh, what a great diving catch by the center field.
And in that game, it was basically a running back by committee. I mean, you had a lot of guys carrying the football. Is that the protocol for the upcoming season for the backfield of Jackson State?
It's a really nice pitch to get the ground ball double play. Second one.
6-5 is your final. East Georgia advances to the championship game.
Wherever life takes you, remember all roads lead to Econo Lodge. We make travel easy. Econo Lodge, easy stop on the road.
Leading off, number 3, Nate Applin.
Nate Applin starts the bottom of the 6th. And first pitch into the strike zone to Applin. right at 11 minutes before you get to the 1 hour, 50-minute mark. So Wiregrass will try to take all kinds of time. Havana, you would think, is speeding up the game. In the game that preceded, similar circumstances between West Seminole and Enterprise, and there was a very deliberate effort in the bottom of the sixth for West Seminole to speed the game up. Strike on the outside part of the plate. And it worked. It got them to the seventh. They weren't able to come back in the seventh, but it did get them 3 extra at-bats. That is fouled off by Nate Applin. Applin reached on an error in the first, wrapped into a 4-6 in the second, singled in the fourth. 1 for 3 in the game with a stolen base and a run scored. Aiden Amos, Landon Johnson due up in the inning too. One ball, couple of strikes. High with the pitch and the count evens at 2. Applin awaits, Barr delivers. Sliced in the direction of right field, and that's going to drop in as a base hit. Sandberg will field fire in, but Applin is on to begin the 6th. And like I mentioned in the preceding game, this is an interesting additional variable to consider. It's kind of part of the strategy where Wiregrass is concerned. Go into kind of a slowdown mode. And you couple that with, on the other side of the diamond,
Now netting, number 2, Aiden Amos.
Havana trying to go into somewhat of a speed-up mode. Aiden Amos has singled, lined out, ground out. Pops this one in the direction of left field, and that's going to drop in as a base hit. Throw goes to third, won't get the runner there. Heading to second, and safely at second is Amos. Couple of base runners now in scoring position.
Now batting, number 11, Landon Johnson.
And Landon Johnson comes to the plate with a couple of base runners on. Well, here's the other interesting part about the scenario. You really can't afford to change pitchers if you're Havana. I mean, you don't want 3 or 4 minutes of the remaining roughly 8 eaten up by warming up your pitcher. Landon Johnson. Strike delivered down the middle. Ground into a 6-3 that brought in Aiden Amos in the first and popped out to short and center. Count evens up at 1. One offering. Inside, goes to the screen. And it is 2-1. Austin McCardle moving to the on-deck circle. Another one low and away. And Barr running the count to 3-1. And with each hitter you bring to the plate, you're thinking you probably add at least another minute.
Yes, ma'am. How can we help you?
It is low, it is outside, the bases are full. Still nobody out, bases full. Austin McCardle coming to the plate.
Now batting, number 7, Austin McCardle.
And now you're looking at about 7 minutes left on that 1 hour, 50-minute clock. 6 to be exact. Bases loaded, nobody out. Austin McCardle, who was struck out, ground out, and reached because of catcher's interference. Case and Eubanks moving to the on-deck circle. Infield in, trying to keep the run from plating. And really right now, it's almost 50-50. You're just about as concerned with the time if you're Havana as you are with the runs. Strike on the inside part of the plate, and McCardle, who had already tossed the stick, preparing for a trip to first, will have to pick the stick back up and get back into the box and away to 3-1. Rolled slowly towards Brown, and Brown will go over to first to get the sure out and concede the run. So Applin will score. McCardle hitting into the 6-3 putout. One away. And now a 3-run lead as we're back to that largest lead of the game for Wiregrass. They led 3-zip, then 4-1, and now 7-4. And Kason Eubanks, who was ground into a 6-3, singled and struck out at the plate with one away. Surprising, he goes after the first pitch, hits it towards Sandberg, and Sandberg reaches back and makes the catch, tagging going from third home, Amos, and from second to third, Johnson. Well, admittedly, a little surprised that he went after the first pitch.
Now batting, number 20, Bryce Cunningham.
Into the strike zone, and goes to Cunningham. Cunningham is wrapped into the 4-3. He is doubled, and conveniently one hops it into Brown's mitt. We're going to the 7th. Hits into the 6-3. Wiregrass will take their largest lead of the game into the 7th. We've got that coming up when we come back. Austin McCardle moving from third up onto the hill. Fourth pitcher used by Wiregrass as we get to the top of the 7th. Bryce Cunningham, an impressive but brief stint on the mound. Faced 3, struck them all out looking. Laird, Sandberg, and Brock. And now McCardle facing Rudd, Brown, and Jones. into the strike zone, 2-1. Slade Seaborn has moved to third. And it looks like Bryce Cunningham has gone out to left. So those are your defensive changes. 3-1 on Tucker Run. 8-4, 4-run lead. Havana able to wrap up the bottom part of the sixth about 3 minutes ahead of the time limit. And Rudd will get hit by a pitch, and he'll give a look out to McCardle. And McCardle, like, hey, really didn't mean to hit you. Want to wrap the game up.
Now batting number 2, Timothy Brown.
Base runner aboard for Timothy Brown. Rudd getting his lead at first. McCardle, a couple of looks. Now the pitch, it's on the corner. Timothy Brown is lined out, been hit by a pitch and popped out to left. He's 0 for 2. Hit over towards left, but foul. Cunningham will give it a chase, scoop it up in foul territory, and send it back towards the middle of the diamond. Two-strike count on Timothy Brown. Seth Jones to the on-deck circle. Havana trying to overcome the 4-run lead and force the bottom of the 7th. Pitch is outside. Back-to-back games going to the 7th. I think it's only the third game of now 10 that has made it to the 7th inning. The inside pitch almost nibbled the kneecaps of Brown. Count him at 2. Couple of balls, couple of strikes. Well, again, on the inside part of the plate, though, according to Bloom. And Brown will strike out.
Now batting number 10, Seth Jones.
One gone for Seth Jones. Jones is struck out, ground out. He is popped out. 0 for 3 in the game. Colton Harrell to the on-deck circle. Rudd with his lead at first. Another inside pitch. Consistently to the inside part of the plate or outside of the strike zone, but inside with the tosses from McCardle. And this time he gets Seth Jones. And Jones hit by a pitch, Rudd hit by a pitch, and both are on. So a couple of base runners on. Jones is at first, Rudd is at second. Colton Harrell, who is 1 for 2. Ground out to first, doubled, and then catcher's interference got him on in the 5th. Sends it right back up the middle. I don't think shortstop Amos got any part of the bag at second, so it's just a 6-3 put out. And there's 2 gone as Rudd goes to third, Jones to second.
Number 5, Jackson Machado.
Jackson Machado had a double that drove in a pair of runs in the 5th. He's got a pair of base runners on here in the 7th. With 2 gone facing McCardle. And McCardle gets the inside part of the plate for strike 1. Well, the game going an hour 53 currently. The 4 o'clock game won't start at 4, obviously. Well, almost got Jackson Machado. 1-1 offering. Fouled back, 1-2. And for Havana, it's down to this. 1 ball, couple of strikes, 2 gone, 2 on, 4-run Wiregrass lead. Nolan Barr is on deck, hoping to bat in the inning. Pitches low and inside. Two offering. Low and away, and the count goes full. Again, thanks to Al Britton Electric of Tallahassee, Iron Horse Heavy Equipment and Repair in Havana, Tony Kelly Heating and AC in Tallahassee, Havana Auto Supply, your Napa dealer. Sliding in from third, Timothy Run. Making it a 3-run game with the tying run coming to the plate.
Now batting number 18, Nolan Barr.
So Machado is walked. He goes to first. Seth Jones, the base runner, at second. Machado, the base runner, at first. An 8-5 contest. Havana down to the last out, and then you got the out at third. Havana trying to pull off the double steal, thinking that they had used the element of surprise and would catch Wiregrass unsuspectingly, but instead they're ready and throw out Jones at third. This ball game is ended. It is a victory that belongs to Wiregrass. 8-5 your final. And again, our thanks to all those previously mentioned, including Havana Auto Supply, your Napa dealer, and Emery's in Quincy. It is an 8-5 Wiregrass win. Coming up next here on JockJive Sports, West Georgia and Mendenhall, Mississippi. See you in about 15. Robert Williamson, so long for all of us at JockJive Sports.